Corbett, Mike Roberts.
I think one of the things that will be important for Xavier in this game is they have not been, as I've seen them play, a good shooting team. By that I mean a team that really works at getting good shots. And if that's their offense tonight, I think that'll be a problem for them.
Yeah, we saw them against Butler. They won that game by 2, but really shot poorly and took a lot of low percentage shots in that game. Here's Mark Lyons, who was guilty of that a lot, and that's kind of been a trend for him. He's coming off a 1-for-11 game against Florida and a Xavier home loss as Kenny Freeze on his first shot and playing well of late offensively gets the hoop.
Well, I think that's really important that they went inside and got a bucket in their first possession. If that sets the tones for things, Xavier's offense will be pretty effective in this game. But they've got to go inside a lot.
Freeze scoring in double figures in 7 of his last 8 games, including 16 points in the loss to Florida in their last game. Deion Dixon off the mark, but an offensive rebound. Ibrahima Thomas, though, hit the side of the backboard.
I'm always interested to see if they go right back to the big guy again. Freeze got that bucket in the first possession, and let's milk that one till it's dry.
Freeze averaging 12 points per game. Yeah, they kept going to him earlier in a game against Wake Forest, the game Xavier won, and he had big numbers in that game, 22 points, 14 rebounds.
Xavier uses their postmen high a lot to screen and then drops them down into the post.
Freeze there with the putback. Off the Holloway miss. Freeze has all 4 for Xavier.
That's a great example of Freeze setting a screen out on the perimeter and then sliding down into the post, getting into rebound position.
Got in really good shape. Lost 25 pounds from a year ago. He's a 7-footer. Junior. And Lyons commits a foul, but 25 feet away from the basket on Kashmir Wright.
All right, we're going to see Freeze set a screen out on top. Right there, little moving screen, and he quickly goes in and gets rebound position. That's really good post play on his part. Xavier drops its defense back a little bit more than Cincinnati does. Cincinnati pressures out a little bit further than Xavier will.
Cincinnati off to its best start since the 1998-99 season when they were 15-0. The school record for wins to start a year without a loss is 19-0 back in 1963. That was the year Cincinnati went for its 3rd straight national title and lost to Loyola in the championship game. Working around the perimeter, being very patient. Now Rashad Bishop on the baseline, and Cincinnati's on the board.
It was a big possession for Cincinnati because they don't want to get 3 or 4 possessions where Xavier scores and they don't.
Dante Jackson around 2 defenders. Out to Lyons. Now Jackson had it blocked, but Freeze there to get the rebound. Shot clock still going at 12 now.
Well, that's the kind of shot they can't take. We've seen them take that kind of shot too much, and they've got to get rid of that shot.
Bishop had the block. Timers at 3. Shot clock at 1. And I don't think Holloway had any idea that the shot clock didn't reset.
You always got to know how much time there is left. You've got to count it in your head sometimes. 1,001, 1,002. We've got 4 seconds left. You can make the drive. We've got 3 seconds, 2 seconds. You got to get the shot.
A turnover on the 35-second violation.
Xavier's a very good defensive team. They play it from the 3-point line onto the bucket. They don't get caught going out too far.
A jumper for Yancey Gates. Ties it at 4.
The ability to do that makes Yates an exceptional threat as a postman.
Gates averaging 14 points per game his last 3. Just over 11 points per game for the season. Here's Holloway off the Freeze screen. Able to knock it down over Yancey Gates. First basket for 2, Holloway, who's second in the Atlantic 10 at 21 points per game, almost doubling his scoring average from a year ago.
I think Xavier wants to be careful about playing Freeze outside as a screener a lot because it's going to be important that he gets the ball to work against Cincinnati's big kids inside.
Ibrahima Thomas letting it fly and misfiring on the long jumper. Thomas not afraid to shoot it from out there, coming in 2 of 15 on 3-point tries. Bishop got position inside, couldn't hit it, but will go to the line. Thomas picking up the personal. 6-4 Xavier on top of Cincinnati early in the 78th Crosstown Shootout.
And he lives in LA, so he's coming back. So it tells you how big of a game this is.
You're sharing coverage in the paper. You're sharing, time slots on 5, 9, and 12. It's one of those things where everybody knows everybody, and the intensity and the rivalry, I think, is unmatched in college basketball. I really feel that way.
It's a huge game for our city. Get to shine the college basketball spotlight on Cincinnati for one night. We have 2 great programs in our city.
Bishop hitting the first free throw. Apparently, Pete Rose did get tickets to this game, Coach.
I think
he knows people here.
I think Pete would be able to get tickets to about anything he wanted to go to.
Bishop gets both free throws, so it's 8-4. Road team. Now the big guys on both sides heavily involved here early. Freeze has 4 points for Xavier. Gates with a basket, and Thomas has also taken a couple of shots. Now a long 3 that is off the mark. And Bishop misfiring. It was McLean on the other end that had the points for Xavier.
I don't think that Cincinnati picking up full court is set up to take the ball away, but I think they're going to make them work as hard as possible just to get it up the floor. Slow them down a little bit, use some clock time, give them less time to run an offense at the other end.
I don't know if that's a shot they want Bishop taking. He is shooting 40% from 3, but that was way behind the arc.
Well, they keep McLean and Freeze outside a lot, but Freeze gets back inside. There he is now in the post.
Holloway an open 3, and that's the second one he's had rattle out. Here comes Kashmir Wright.
Well, I'll tell you, Thomas did a good job on defense down at the Cincinnati end and got from that end to the Cincinnati basket about as quick as any big kid we've seen this year.
They say it was kicked by McLean, so Cincinnati basketball. One of 7 unbeaten teams remaining in college basketball, along with Duke, Ohio State, Kansas, Syracuse, San Diego State, and UCF, led by Marcus Jordan. And they're going to get Rashad Bishop for a travel.
Ed Corbett's a good official because he pays attention to what's going on. There are a lot of officials that would not have picked up that walking violation. He was an out official, and I watched him when he made that call. He had his eyes right on the man with the ball, and that's how he picked up the walk. So many guys just don't even see that.
Several substitutions made by Mick Cronin as Sean Kilpatrick, third leading scorer for Cincinnati, comes into the game. A redshirt freshman from White Plains, New York, who's been big, says Mick Cronin, for his team and its undefeated start. That was knocked out of bounds by the Bearcats in contact as well. Holloway wondering why a foul wasn't called there.
Might have been because there wasn't a foul.
Players always think they're fouled, though, Coach. You were a player, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Lyons on the drive, and a block by Gates.
And see, Gates kind of sloughed off on defense that time, away from Freeze outside, to put him in a perfect position to help on the drive.
Dixon missed the 3. Gates got the offensive rebound. We talked this week about how fired up he is for this game. He is from Cincinnati, the only scholarship player on the Bearcats that's from here, Withrow High School. He's never beaten Xavier. Tough shot there by Kilpatrick. And here come the Musketeers, leading by 4. Good find. Lyons able to hit Freeze. He couldn't get it, but McLean tips it in.
See, that was a result of both big guys being inside, Dave. McLean gets a tip in, but Freeze was there to catch it. It was a really good pass. That may be the best pass I've ever seen Holloway make.
So it's 10-4 Cincinnati. And they're going to get McLean for a foul here. Second team foul, first on Jamel McLean.
We're going to first of all see a really good pass right there. Freeze has a good shot, and McLean slips inside. Nobody attempted the block out, but he was able to get there because he was already down inside and made his own block out position.
Gates goes to the bench, as does McLean and Freeze. Let's see how Xavier responds with a little bit smaller lineup out there. Andrew Taylor and Jeff Robinson come in, but they're both under 6 feet 9 inches tall, as we have a jump ball, and on the alternate possession will stay Cincinnati basketball.
And we're going to see a really good defensive move inside by a guy coming back to help right there. And the arrow had it going to Cincinnati, but it was a very good play by Xavier, taking away a close inside shot.
Offensive foul called on Cincinnati on the inbounds pass. They get Kilpatrick for his first personal. Second on Cincinnati.
Freeze and McLean are awfully important, I think, to the Xavier offense, to have both of them out of the game at the same time.
Let's see if Xavier shoots more jumpers with those two guys on the bench, or if they go into Taylor and Robinson, two guys who don't get a lot of minutes and aren't really big scores. Shot clock at 8. Here's Holloway. Shot clock is at 2. Lions a long 3, way off the mark. Easy rebound for Larry Davis. Kilpatrick, an offensive foul. That's 2 on Kilpatrick. No basket.
Now Lyons makes a great move here. There's a drive to the butt. Look at Lyons. Gets in position, doesn't move his feet, doesn't move his body. He takes the drive head on. He's the guy that gets credit for that turnover. That was a really tough play for Lyons and a very, very important play in stopping the bucket.
So Kilpatrick, one of their best scorers, has to go to the bench, and Cincinnati has just 4 points in 8 minutes. That's the second personal on Kilpatrick, 13 foul. Holloway not able to hit. Try to get a foul called on McLean, but no whistle.
Holloway's had the ball on the dribble a lot in these last 3 possessions, and that's without McLean. And
Davis with a good look to McLean. He couldn't hit, got it back, and then was fouled.
Without McLean and Frazier in there.
Reasons why the Bearcats weren't ranked until this week is because obviously the voters felt they hadn't played anybody. Their best win was Dayton. So 13-3. They also beat Oklahoma, but they're 8-6 on the year. And their 2 Big East wins against DePaul and Seton Hall. They got some ridiculously tough road games, though, in league play. Good hands by Dixon to get the steal from Freeze and put it in.
Boy, when you're a big kid and you've got the ball, you've got to spread your elbows. Spread your elbows out so nobody can get close to the ball. Frazier just played with narrow hands, narrow arms there, and that resulted in the steal. That should have never happened.
Now Cincinnati foul.
Okay, watch Frazier with the ball. He does a good job knocking the ball loose, but then he's not careful with the basketball, and he doesn't protect it with his elbows spread out.
And Darnell Wilkes commits the foul on the other end, his first and the 4th on the Bearcats. Lions offensive foul. He hooked the defender Deion Dixon, and that's 2 on Lions.
The worst bucket to have scored against you, Dave, is one when you've picked up the basketball, you've made a play to get the ball back, and then something of a careless nature takes place, and all of a sudden the opponent scores a bucket when you should be still in possession of the basketball. And that's what happened to Freeze here on Cincinnati's last possession.
So Xavier has to go to a walk on Kevin Feeney. He's actually been getting a lot of minutes of late. Jay Canty, freshman who they've been counting on, is hurt as the 3 goes. for Larry Davis, who's shooting 50% from behind the arc.
Now Davis really got himself set for that shot, and it's the best outside shot so far taken by either team, not because he made it, but because of his positioning and his stance.
That was the first made three of the night for either team. Freeze with a miss on one end. On the other end, it's Gates going to the basket, and Cincinnati leads.
This has been actually three huge possessions for Cincinnati, starting with the steal from Freeze and the putback.
7-0 run by the Bearcats. McLean calling for it inside. Jackson won't feed him. Now they get it to McLean on the block. Working on Wilkes. Double team comes, and McLean able to bank it home.
Bishop started to help on McLean inside. In fact, he had a setup where McLean couldn't move, and then he left him, and McLean had an opening. Once you move to help on a post man inside, you've got to stay there. You've committed yourself.
McLean averaging close to a double-double this year as Wilkes fires from long range, way off on the three.
You know, it's like ham and eggs. The chicken is there, but the pig is committed.
Another offensive foul. This one called on Freeze. It's his first.
All right, here's a move inside. There's a little help by Bishop, but then he leaves it right here. Watch him move. McLean comes right back with his right hand, protected the bucket. You got a postman doubled up inside. You've got to keep him there, doubled where he can't move, and make him throw it back outside.
McLean goes to the bench. He's got 6 points to lead all scorers. 5 team fouls now on Xavier after Freeze picks up the offensive foul. And Gates hits another jumper.
Davis has made 2 great plays here, Dave. First was that open three that he hit out of good balance. There was that drive into the middle looking for people. Got the ball to the open man. Excellent, excellent pass and excellent look at what was there.
Davis has really had a good year. Struggled a lot last year after being a starter and having pretty good numbers 2 years ago, but Davis is back as an offensive weapon in a lot of ways. Freeze can't hit the short bank shot. Ripped down by Thomas. Kashmir right in transition.
Xavier did a good job jamming up on the postman that time and prevented the pass inside. Thomas was in good position.
Right off the bounce, Bishop an open three, and the 40% three-point shooter knocks it down.
Again, Davis set up the situation with his movement on the dribble and his penetration, bringing a defensive man to him, made the pass that resulted in the bucket.
And a 12-2 run gives Cincinnati its largest lead of the game at 4 points. Timeout, Xavier.
Okay, we're going to get a good look at Davis. He gets set. He has good footwork. He hits the three. First three made. Now we're going to see him drive in the middle. He gets the ball out to the open man who has time to get set. He's ready for the pass. They look for the pass when Davis has the ball. And there's the third basket in a row, giving Cincinnati the lead that Davis is responsible for.
Davis coming in, averaging 6 points per game, shooting 50% from three after just 24% a year ago. He's a senior. They need his leadership.
Just coming back out on the floor, Dave, I watched Davis. He said something to 3 different players as he came out here. Getting set up to pick up full court. He very much into the game. They got to get Freeze down low and get to him inside some.
Instead, Freeze holding onto the ball 25 feet away. Now gets it from Holloway and able to bank that one in. 6 points now for Kenny Freeze.
I'm not sure he's really doing very much to help the Xavier offense out on top. You know, his screens, people are getting around that screen, but good movement inside is going to get him shots just like he's had the last couple of possessions.
Here's Yancey Gates. See if he can get Freeze to commit his second foul. Tough shot by Gates. He's 4-4 from the field.
Boy, that was a situation again where help left. Jackson had good help on Gates inside and then left him.
Dante Jackson can't get it to go. Right out of there with it for Cincinnati. Feeds Davis for an open three. Spins out and then knocked out of bounds by Thomas. It'll be Xavier.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Packed house at Fifth Third Arena for Cincinnati and Xavier in this great rivalry. Larry Davis has never beaten Xavier, trying to do all he can as a senior. Make things happen for the Bearcats tonight, Coach.
You know, just take a look at Davis coming off the bench. He said something to another teammate again, and the third time here he's going to say something to a teammate. Now, it may not be anything other than let's just keep awake. Let's be smart. No bad fouls. Let's don't get caught. But just letting everybody hear something that keeps them in the game. That was excellent leadership by Davis.
How comforting is that as a coach to know you have at least one guy on the floor?
If you've got one of those guys, you can't get anything better on a basketball floor than a guy that keeps everybody alert and awake out there.
Davis also with 3 points and an assist.
You know, the mental is to the physical, Davis. 4 is to 1 in this game.
They get Yancey Gates for a foul. His first. 15 foul, and McLean will go to the line. McLean so far 2 of 2 from the field and 2 of 2 at the foul line.
Looked good making the first 2 free throws that he had, as well as that one. That's 3 in a row for him.
Got a good one on Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN. Connecticut taking on Texas. UConn ranked 9th in the country. Kemba Walker having a fantastic year for the Huskies, and Texas off to a great start. Playing very well after getting hammered by USC earlier in the year.
Both teams have stayed all man-to-man with their defense.
Davis feeding the post.
They had a little help there.
And right for 3, no. Long rebound into the hands of Holloway. So far, Holloway 1 of 5 shooting, just 2 points. Got into the lane, missed there. He's 1 of 6. Offensive rebound by Taylor, though. Holloway got bumped on the baseline. Instead, no foul is called. They see verticality by Thomas. He was vertical, therefore no foul on him. And a turnover.
Oh, I believe I'd question that call a little bit. He got his knee in the way and really jolted him with his knee.
5th turnover by Xavier. Cincinnati's got 9 points off of Xavier turnovers. Blocking foul is called here as Kashmir Wright appeared to be out of control on the drive. Taylor picking up his 2nd personal. 16 fouls.
The charge block is always a difficult call to make because one angle may show one thing and one angle may show another. And I got to the point where the one thing I hated about it was the defensive man, the official, moving him to get up, get up, get up. Yeah, I hated that. But I got to the point where I would say to myself, well, he had a little bit different angle than I had for that. And that's the call that he made, his angle. That is a very difficult call to make.
Chris Mack pleading his case with Ed Corbett. 1 more free throw for Kashmir Wright, who's made 24 of his last 26 at the line.
I thought that Davis and Wright had pretty good chemistry while they were in there working for each other.
And Jim Burr and Ed Corbett having a conversation, and Burr wants to check something out on the monitor.
I might be checking out the weather.
Maybe just confirming who committed the foul or who the shooter is.
Now The angle of that would indicate to me that it was definitely a charge. Looking at the angle we have on the screen, he was in position. The offensive man left his feet, made contact, initiated the contact.
They initially said the foul was on Holloway for some reason, but it was clearly on, well, if you're going to call it on Xavier, it was clearly on Andrew Taylor, which was the call. So that's what they did. They went to just make sure that the foul was called against the correct person. It is on Taylor's second, 16 foul, and Cincinnati's up 5, its largest lead of the night.
Now Cincinnati was most aggressive they've been thus far with their full court pickup that time. They looked to double up and draw the offensive ball, the man with the ball into the corner.
Shot clock inside 10 seconds. Holloway with the ball, just 1 of 6 shooting, so he gives it up. Freeze unable to hit the short corner Jay, and Wright tracks down the loose ball. Cincinnati at 14-0, one of 7 undefeated teams in college basketball remaining.
Cincinnati has good spread in its offensive setup. Very good movement there, obviously.
How about 6'11" to 6 feet tall? Great look by Thomas down low to the smaller Wright.
Setting up in your offense that high, giving Thomas an opportunity to hit a driver is a really important part of offensive basketball. You're going to see it right here. Thomas has the ball. We get a move down. Wright is open because there's a lot of room between where Thomas is and the baseline.
Cincinnati, one of 8 Big East teams in the top 25. Syracuse, the only other Big East team that is currently undefeated. Great play by Kashmir Wright. He's got Dixon with him. Took it himself and drew the foul. Dante Jackson. That's the 17th foul on Xavier.
That's probably a foul that you got to commit, because now at least they've taken away the bucket. So now at least they have to make 2 from the free throw line. But what I felt that Wright needed to do there was he knew that guy's right on his back, just drop the ball behind him, and the man coming behind has a chance to go in and lay it up.
5 points now for Kashmir Wright, sophomore from Savannah, Georgia.
If he gets both of them, that'll be the same as if he had made a backdrop pass and the trailer had laid it in. Got the 2.
A couple more points off of another Xavier turnover.
This has been a big run for Cincinnati here. They've really done a good job at both ends. But again, Freeze has not had the ball in the post, and neither has McClain.
Cincinnati by 9.
All right, now he's got a little room. He's going to score here.
Instead, he got it rejected. It will stay Xavier ball with 16 to shoot.
But that's what they've got to do. They've got to take it in there. Here, they get a piece of the ball. Now, he needed his little jump hook shot right there, the bucket that he made early in the game. He tried to go up in against somebody that he couldn't go over. That's why getting your shoulders squared and using that little jump hook is very important when you turn to the middle inside.
4th block for Cincinnati. Mark Lyons back on the floor with 2 fouls. Excellent defense there by Ibrahima Thomas. And you got a jump ball situation. It will stay.
Thomas came all the way across the lane to help that time. He was very, very conscious of where the ball was and what his responsibility and help defense was. Watch Thomas right there. He makes his move. He's in position to draw the charge and be very difficult to shoot over. That's the exact kind of defense you want from your help side postman.
5 to shoot for Xavier. Excellent one-handed catch by McLean. Shot clock at 1. And that is the 2nd shot clock violation by Xavier tonight.
Now, Thomas made another great defensive play. When he came to help, he had his hands up in the air, and he did not try to foul or block the shot. He kept himself in position where he wasn't going to put anybody on the free throw line. That's that part where the mental is to the physical as 4 is to 1.
Xavier with more turnovers than baskets. 7 giveaways, only 6 made shots. 13 points for Cincinnati off of Xavier turnovers.
Cincinnati's had good patience. They still have 12 seconds to go.
Davis tried to save it there.
As soon as I said that, they kind of lost their patience. That was now that's not a good foul, and as soon as Wright committed it, he knew that he had committed a bad foul out on the floor where nothing was going to happen. That's a bad play, the bad foul.
ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
There it is for Kemba Walker, knocks down a triple.
The nation's scoring leader, Kemba Walker, and the surprising #9 Huskies roll into Austin for a showdown with the 12th-ranked Longhorns, who are hitting their stride.
How about that slam by Tristan Thompson?
Former colleague Steve Lavin for his start. 8 Big East teams ranked, as we mentioned. Cincinnati finally in the top 25. 14-0 start for the Bearcats, and they're one of the 2 undefeated teams left in Big East, among Big East teams, along with Syracuse. 7 teams overall on college basketball unbeaten. Duke, Ohio State, Kansas, San Diego State, UCF, the others. Here's Freeze. They go to him out of the timeout, but he can't hit that little half hook.
Well, that's the hook he's got to do. That's the shot he's got to take, that little hook. He missed that one, but it was a good move.
Cincinnati on a 20-5 run to take a 9-point lead. Very balanced offense. 5 players have scored for Cincinnati, only 3 for Xavier.
Dixon had a chance to punch the ball inside right there and didn't. I thought it was going to be a good post move.
Right off the bounce, no. Kept alive, though, by Gates, who's had a terrific first half. So has Thomas. He can't stick it back in, though. Both guys missing down low.
Cincinnati's 2 big guys have room to improve, and if they do, they're going to be very good. They're good now, but they've got good futures, those 2 guys.
Thomas at 6'11", Gates at 6'9". McLean was open down low. Holloway had trouble getting it to him, and again Thomas with excellent hustle. 2-on-1. Davis feeds Gates for the bucket.
Holloway didn't see the inside down there. Holloway again was too conscious of dribbling the basketball, and he missed the open man down inside completely. That's how the turnover came about.
Yancey Gates now has 10 points to lead all scorers. Cincinnati by 11. McLean able to get it to go. Cincinnati having all kinds of trouble scoring. Xavier, excuse me.
I'm not sure about Thomas getting knocked down. Maybe that isn't a foul in Cincinnati. Their guards, meaning Cincinnati's guards, are doing a good job with the basketball looking for people. They're not just trying to get a shot. They're trying to get a good shot with somebody in position to score.
Dixon shot in and out. Mark Lyons with a rebound. There's 2 points for Dixon, their leading scorer. Jackson out to Freeze. Freeze with the cross-court feed, and Lyons hits a 3. That's his first field goal and the first 3 for Xavier tonight.
These are 5 huge points for Xavier, Dave. They kept him in the ball game. If it had gone the other way,
about how key those 5 points could be for Xavier. They got it inside, and then good look by Freeze to kick it out the line.
I think these last 2 possessions were extremely important for Xavier. They got themselves in a position where they're not going to be out of the game at the halftime. Now, we've got 1:11 left. Cincinnati has the ball. Xavier should be thinking to themselves, the biggest margin we want to have is 8. But if we can hold them scoreless this possession, we have a chance to score without them getting the ball back. I think it'd be huge if they're 7 or less down Xavier at the halftime.
Plenty of time to shoot still for Cincinnati. Here's Gates with 10 on the timer. Gates with 10 points in the game to lead all scorers. A fall-away jumper. Everything going for Cincinnati native Yancey Gates tonight.
I was just about to say the ball is in a very poor position for Cincinnati as Gates hit the shot.
He's only missed one shot. He also has 5 rebounds, and Cincinnati leads by 8, about a 6-second difference between game and shot clocks.
Now you really want to move a lot here on offense, but you don't, oh boy, you do not want to give Cincinnati a chance to score again, which is just what they have. Now Xavier should not have another opportunity to score. Here's Gates moving out of the post, comes back quite a ways. And I'm not sure I'd want a game to decide on that shot.
10 seconds remaining in the half. Here's White with 5 seconds. Dixon for 3. Rebound Freeze with 2. Freeze from 3/4 court. Welcome back to Cincinnati, a shot of Fountain Square downtown. We're just up the hill on Vine Street, about 5 minutes, where Cincinnati trying to go to 15-0, leading Xavier by 8 at the half. Dave Pax back with Coach Knight, and Cincinnati very patient, Coach, offensively in that first half, and did a good job on D as well.
You know, they got a lot of really good things, a lot of really good scoring opportunities, but I think the most important thing in the ball game the first half, Dave, was the last couple of minutes for Xavier. They were able to stay in there at 7 or 8 points, and they could have been down by 13 or 14. Cincinnati lost its patience on one possession, but other than that, Xavier did a good job staying in the game then.
It's a great rivalry. There are not a lot of players, though, that are on scholarship that are from Cincinnati. Yancey Gates is one of those guys. He's never beaten Xavier. He desperately wants to get this win tonight. Had a big first half.
Gates did a very good job catching the basketball, getting squared up, taking it to the bucket, getting it inside and moving with it. He helps out very well there. Here he goes to the bucket on a little spin move in the lane, both ends of the floor. That shot I wouldn't want to count on to win the game, but overall you're absolutely right about how well Yates played.
And that was the last shot of the half for Cincinnati, last basket of the half. See, he was very efficient. The rest of the team was not. 7 assists on 11 made field goals. Points off turnovers, 15-0 in favor of Cincinnati, and 2 Holloway, just 1 of 7 from the field in that first half, 2 points. Their big guys, McLean and Freeze, combined for 15 of the 20 Xavier points.
And McLean and Freeze were not inside nearly as much as Gates and Thomas were. I think that the difference is that Gates and Thomas played a lot more inside and got the ball a lot more down low than the 2 postmen from Xavier did. Great feed, high-low.
And the jam by Gates. It was Thomas with another good look from the high post.
Gates is hard to control down there. He's got a big body. He's got strong legs. He moves. And they give him room. And they did give him room that time.
Xavier with a record of 8-4, coming off a loss to Florida, which ended a school record 30-game home win streak. They need a resume-building victory tonight on the road. Freeze gets called for traveling, though, on the Musketeers' first possession.
Thomas and Gates did a great job doubling up on Freeze down low, and he tried to move back to the inside, and he ran into the help man on the inside, who in that case was Thomas, and that caused him to walk with the ball. Extremely good defensive play by Cincinnati's 2 big guys.
Here's Gates again, 14 points to lead all scores. Tried to reverse on Freeze, and it was last touch by Cincinnati.
Tried to do an up and under, and I think if he'd have just gone very strong up on the left side of the bucket and protected the ball with his head and his shoulders, the stretch for a reverse layup there was a little bit too much for him.
10 turnovers by Xavier, by the way. Cincinnati forces 16 turnovers a game. They hold opponents to 54 points per contest. Xavier on pace for 40 right now.
Thomas did a great job of helping again. He bailed Dixon out on a drive that could have scored had he not been there to help.
Dante Jackson lost it into the hands of McLean. He couldn't finish down low, but got it back. McLean leaning in to Thomas, and Thomas picking up the foul, his second. First on Cincinnati and a half.
even though he committed a foul there at the end, that was about as good a post-defensive play over that possession from Thomas as you're ever going to see. Playing the man with the ball, helping, making it difficult to get to the bucket. He was outstanding.
McLean gets the first foul shot.
Get a look at it here. Thomas takes away the shot there. Good help. A little banging in there.
And Dante Jackson, great hustle, almost got the rebound off the missed free throw by McLean. Cincinnati ball, 9-point lead, 2 minutes into the second half.
Now they'll get Gates down low with Thomas high here.
Instead, Thomas firing the three. 0 for 2 from out there tonight.
I think that's the worst shot selection that Cincinnati has had in any possession.
Lions can't get it on the drive. Freeze is there with a putback.
Well, that's another example of why they need to keep Freeze down low a lot. I just don't think he adds a lot to their offense when he's outside. You know, almost anybody can be a screener, but they don't have anybody that's as effective inside as Freeze is.
Freeze and McLean, they're two big guys combining for 18 of the 23 Xavier points. And it's a 3 for Dion Dixon. Cincinnati's leading scorer this year at 13 points per game, shoots 35% from behind the arc.
Stepped in very well on that shot. Had good footwork, good balance, head in front of his feet.
Holloway with a 2. That's just his second basket of the night.
Holloway scores a lot off the dribble, which means he has the ball in his hands an awful lot, and sometimes I think that's a detriment to their overall offensive play.
Good hands by McLean, getting the steal, and then a foul called on Kashmir Wright. The second personal, second on Cincinnati here in the half.
Really, really a good foul. That's the best foul, if there is such a thing, that we've seen in the ball game, because it took away a basket and did not allow free throws. They still have the possession, but they still have to score the bucket from the steal.
Mick Cronin told us, after you pointed out that that was a point of emphasis that you had with your teams, that's exactly what one of his main points of emphasis is with his squad: how to foul and when not to foul.
Boy, there isn't anything more important than not committing bad fouls.
Lions getting to the basket, and Xavier within 6.
Now, Gates didn't help that time. Gates did not move across in time to take away the layup. He kind of stood and watched it. Should have had a ticket on that play.
Here's Bishop on the baseline. Wilkes will take it down the lane. He can't get it to go. Good job by Gates to keep it alive and throw it down.
They just get an awful lot, they being Cincinnati, out of what they're doing offensively when Gates stays down inside.
That's 16 points for Gates. He averages under 12 per game. Gates coming over defensively, and they call a foul on Wilkes on the shot attempt by McLean. It has been a great night for Yancey Gates. 16 points for the Bearcats.
The Tostitos BCS National Championship game, Monday on ESPN.
You know what a mechanic is?
A hitman.
You know I'm better than you know.
I want to know what you know. Follow me. Some jobs need to look like accidents. Nice. Others send a clear message.
The Mechanic, rated R, starts January 28th.
Hi, I'm Reese Davis. The journey has begun for the Capital One Cup. At the end of the school year, one men's and one women's Division I athletics program will win this coveted award given to the school with the best on-field performance in NCAA Division I championships. Each winning school will receive $200,000 to fund student-athlete graduate-level scholarships. Follow your school and check the standings at CapitalOneCup.com.
It's like a blast of hydration. Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin as you shave, and Skin Guards reduce irritation. It's the best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
What's your 99?
Introducing Wendy's 99-cent everyday value menu.
My 99.
Feel like spicy chicken nuggets? 99. Or a beefy double stack?
99.
Or natural cut fries with sea salt?
99.
From all white meat chicken to fresh, never frozen beef, to fries cut naturally. Try getting all this anywhere else.
My 99.
Can we turn the AC up? I'm dying back here.
Jeff, eat a Snickers, please.
Why?
Every time you get hungry, you turn into a diva.
A diva?
Yes, a diva.
Okay.
Thank you. Better?
You're not you when you're hungry.
Better.
Snickers satisfies.
Welcome back to Cincinnati, one of the greatest college players, greatest pro players as well of all time. Oscar Robertson, three-time All-American, led the nation in scoring each year. 58, 59, and 60. Jack Twyman, an All-American 1955. That was just prior to Cincinnati winning back-to-back national titles in 61 and 62.
You know, John Havlicek and Bill Russell are my all-time favorite players, and John Havlicek has always told me that there was nobody tougher to guard than Oscar Robertson was. Jack Twyman is as good a scorer as ever played this game, and by that I mean he could score from anywhere on the floor, and he's the kind of guy like Jerry West, Jack Twyman, and I'd also put Havlicek in it, that if they've got the last shot, you've got a good chance of winning.
McLean misses the second free throw, where Cincinnati won those national titles 61-62 right after you won a national championship at Ohio State 1960.
Good high-low setup here.
Gates out to Dixon. Dixon hit a three from there earlier in the half. Now rebound by Lyons. Big possession for Xavier, trying to get the Cincinnati lead to 5, maybe 4.
That's the best outside help that Xavier has gotten down on the post man when Gates had the ball in that possession.
Lyons off the McLean screen. And McLean with another offensive rebound. He's been a big factor in this game. He sticks it back, and the lead is just 5.
There again is what you've been talking about, Dave. Freeze isn't in the ball game right now. Taylor's in his place, but McLean gets a big bucket, and they have about 70% of the Xavier scoring. McLean and Freeze are between them.
Yeah, combining for 21 of the 30 for Xavier. Trying to hand Cincinnati its first loss of the year. Three-pointer goes, though, for Rashad Bishop. 40% from behind the arc on the year. That's his second triple tonight.
And those have both been big contributions to the Cincinnati offense. They've come at very timely spots.
Cincinnati 14-0, best start since 1998-99, so 12 seasons ago. Holloway down the lane, and last touched by Taylor or Xavier. Their best start ever was 19-0 back in '63 when they went for the third straight national title. They lost to Loyola that year. 15-0 in '99, finished 27-6.
You know, we talked about Jack Twyman. He was the guy that did all of the work to help Maurice Stokes when he had that problem and died from it back years and years ago. Jack is a very, very selfless person in addition to being a great basketball player.
And Cincinnati honoring those players tonight wearing their throwback jerseys as Gates hit it, count the basket, and then a foul committed by Thomas of Cincinnati after the bucket.
I don't want to admit this, Dave, but was that not the same guy that hit that turnaround jump shot in the first half that we said wasn't a very good shot?
Yeah, at the end of the half.
So now he's 2 for 2. He's moving away into, now he moves back, going away from it. You got to be pretty strong with the wrist to be able to hit that shot.
He matches the season high with 18 points. He had 18 in the loss to Xavier in double overtime a year ago. Meanwhile, Thomas picked up his third foul, 14th foul in Cincinnati. Freeze back on the floor. Good hands to reach down there and get that loose ball. Then a steal by Larry Davis. He'll take it in on Holloway. And they're going to say a shooting foul as Holloway may have injured himself holding his right hand after he committed the foul. First foul on Holloway.
They got just a little bit too close together. Davis needed to spread the court a little bit when they went to the basket. It was a 2-on-1, but they were only about 8 feet apart. They need to be about 15 to 18 feet apart, and then one guy can't play both of them, although they did get the foul out of it and can get to 2.
One more free throw for Davis. We get more college basketball for you Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. Number 9 Connecticut taking on 12th ranked Texas. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. All starts 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. West Virginia, Georgetown. Another good matchup in the Big East. Bob Huggins, Mountaineer coach, of course, longtime coach here at Cincinnati, led them to a Final Four in 1992.
Their spacing wasn't very good there, Dave, on the 2-on-1, but they made up for it with the 2 free throws.
Coach, after Xavier gets it down to 5, Cincinnati goes on a 7-0 run, but now a technical foul is called on Holloway of Xavier after they called a personal foul. The last 3 years combined in this series, there have been a total of 10 technicals. Been pretty innocuous tonight until now, as Holloway throwing a punch there to Gates right in front of Jim Burr.
See, that's just a dumb play right there. He comes in, he's going to get banged. Just take getting banged and go shoot your 2 free throws is what you're going to get out of it. That should have been a play going totally in Xavier's favor. If we run that again, we take a look at how Holloway swings at him with that off arm right there. There's no need whatsoever to do that. He gets banged. He's going to have 2 free throws to shoot. That's about as bad a play as a kid could make in a game.
Larry Davis committed the personal foul, and then you saw first what looked like an elbow, and then Holloway throwing the punch afterwards. The officials are talking about if there's going to be any further punishment here, as Dixon is ready to shoot the technical. Dixon can't hit the first free throw, as we mentioned. Previous 3 years, a total of 10 technicals. That see that one stretch of there. Marvin Gentry for Cincinnati back in the 07 game actually ran into a teammate, ended up being okay. Last year he had the benches cleared.
That's 2 points that should never been scored in the ball game. They didn't call it a personal foul at all on the thing, and I think it would have been had he not swung at him with that left arm. So that really comes to be a 4-point play that a kid creates for the opponent because he loses his poise out there.
Technical on Holloway, so it also counts in his personal total. He has 2 fouls. That was tipped by Davis out of bounds. That was after Davis picked up his first foul for Cincinnati, so 5 team fouls on Cincy. And the 2 on Xavier.
Cincinnati is moving now toward that spread we were talking about at the end of the half.
Holloway threw it away. Davis on the other end. And last touch by Xavier. It'll stay Cincinnati ball.
He doesn't use his left hand at all there, Dave. He takes it down the lane and keeps it in his right hand. And if he moves it over to his left hand, I think it would have resulted into a 2-shot foul.
Kilpatrick was the man who was trailing for Cincinnati. His last touch by Xavier. 8 straight points by the Bearcats, and now Davis buries a 3. The lead is 16.
Well, for a kid that has never won against Xavier, he's doing a heck of a job getting there tonight.
And a Cincinnati foul on the other end. They just got Thomas for his 4th personal, so he'll lead the game. Cincinnati, after Xavier made that run to get within 5, has scored 11 straight. Now McLean will shoot free throw here, 1-and-1.
It's a big 3-point play for Xavier, because if they don't score in that possession, they're looking at the game getting away from them.
So the basket and then the three-point play. McLean. Cincinnati down up 13 on Xavier.
Is that a new sweater? No. Haircut? No. Get some work done? No.
Something's different at Dunkin' Donuts, and it looks great on you. The delicious egg white sandwich with less than 300 calories. America runs on Dunkin'.
DirecTV now gives you instant access to 6,000 shows and movies at no extra charge. You're gonna be busy. Super busy. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
I'm gonna take a quick dip.
Okay. Keep your head in the game with NFL Mobile. And never miss a touchdown with NFL Red Zone every Sunday afternoon.
You're picturing me as Adrian Peterson again, aren't you?
Don't be silly, Adrian Peterson.
Basketball for you Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Big East. Georgetown taking on West Virginia, and a Big 12 matchup at 1 Eastern with Kansas State facing Oklahoma State. Yancey Gates has had a great night, 18 points and 8 rebounds for Cincinnati. And a technical called on Sue Holloway when the lead was 12 for the Bearcats. Larry Davis, 6 points for Cincinnati in a minute. The Bearcats lead by 13. Coach, what has to happen for Xavier to get back in this game?
Well, they're first of all going to have to be able to combat Gates and Thomas inside, and then they're going to have to go to Freeze inside at the other end.
Yeah, Freeze has not had a lot of touches on offense here in the second half. See if they can do the first part, control Gates here. They force him to kick it out. Got it again, though, and a beautiful rejection by McLean. Cincinnati keeps shot clock inside 5, and Dixon misses in the lane.
Well, that was important defensive possession for Xavier.
Now Holloway firing and missing the 3. Long rebound, Dixon.
See, that's that dribbler takes the shot. Nobody else is involved.
Davis missing a 3 on the other end. Holloway just 2 for 10 in the game. Another Xavier turnover. Davis, great bounce pass, and Dixon fouled by Dante Jackson. 2 on Jackson, 3rd on Xavier. Cincinnati.
Daddy, but it is the GoDaddy of them all. The GoDaddy.com 0-0. Middle Tennessee is moving the ball over on ESPNU. Nova leading South Florida 52-43. Meantime, coming up in just a little while, Dimitri McCamey. He's one of the best when it comes to assists. He's also seen his scoring average go up just shy of 17. Northwestern, the Illini, coming up next. Dave?
Ravi here. Xavier is down 13. There's Byron Larkin, the all-time leading scorer at Xavier. He's the younger brother of former Cincinnati Red Barry Larkin, who just came up short yesterday in the Hall of Fame voting. Got about 63% of the votes. Need 75%.
Barry Larkin was a very, very good basketball player, too. I mean, a heck of an athlete, obviously, but he could play this game.
Cincinnati on top of Xavier, 48-33. The Bearcats looking to go to 15-0 and match their best start in 12 seasons. Xavier with just 3 assists in this game.
And 13 turnovers to go with those 3 assists.
Cincinnati with 21 points off the Xavier turnovers. Jumper by Robinson drops. Was not defended on the play.
Now Robinson just got loose. Somebody forgot where he was because Cincinnati was doing a really good job running some clock while they were on defense. They weren't giving Xavier any easy opportunities, and they end up with an easy bucket.
Now that we were talking about Byron Larkin, he does the radio color analyst work for Xavier. As we're going to have free throws coming up for Cincinnati. That's 14 foul on the Musketeers. They get Robinson for his first personal.
When Robertson comes in for either one of the post guys, he's a real threat up around the top of the key to drive the ball to the bucket, just as he did there.
Dixon rising and hitting the jumper. He's really coming alive here in the second half, now in double figures with 10. He's their leading scorer on the year with 13.
Always like that move out of bounds. Screen into the middle and bring a shooter off the screen toward the ball. And that's just exactly what they did there that gave Dixon the bucket.
8 points this half for Dixon after just 2 in the first half. And then Justin Jackson reaches in his first foul.
All right, we're going to see a good screen up here. There comes Dixon. It's going to be a double screen. 1, 2, open, set, shot.
While the 17th foul in Cincinnati, so a 1-and-1 here for Xavier's Dante Jackson.
Gates got a little break there, and Robinson came in for him, but I think that Robinson is going out a little bit, maybe because of that foul that was committed. That was one of those very unnecessary fouls out on the floor.
Jackson unable to hit the front end of the 1-and-1. Coach, as you watch Cincinnati here, you think about it, there are 8 teams right now from the Big East in the top 25. You know it's going to be one of the better conferences. Cincinnati's undefeated. Can they compete with some of these teams like Syracuse and Villanova and Pitt?
Oh, I think they can, Dave. I think the way they're playing here tonight, not with that kind of shot selection, no, but going inside like they are, and their kids are active inside. They're strong. I think they'll be very competitive in the Big East.
Their last NCAA tournament was 2005. Most wins under Mick Cronin was last year. They won 19. If they win tonight, they'll be at 15 already this year. Gates inside, fouled by McLean. 15 foul on Xavier, second personal on McLean. So Mick Cronin able to increase his win total each year. Went 7-11 in Big East play a year ago and made it to the NIT, lost in the second round. He's a Cincinnati native, and his father, Hep, longtime high school coach here in Cincinnati. Gates hits the first free throw. There's Hep.
You know, another real plus for Cincinnati is the big kids are pretty good free throw shooters. And just like with Gates here, you watch Gates, he gets set well. He has his head in front of his feet. He goes straight up with his head, not back, and has a real good follow-through.
And for a guy statistically at 52% on the line, he didn't look like a 52%.
No, he sure doesn't tonight. He's got great form as he goes up with the shot. And keeping that head still, going straight up is the most important thing in free throw shooting.
3 won't go for Holloway, just 2 of 11, but the putback goes for McLean.
See, again, you know, I have a real hard time with the guy dribbling the ball into offensive play and taking the shot without getting some movement going, giving the defense a chance to foul you, looking at something that might be a cut that gets you a basket. Dribble and shoot is not going to beat very many people.
Xavier, if it loses, will be 8-5. That was the same record they had a year ago. Made it to the NCAA tournament, went to the Sweet 16 for the second straight year. We're in the Atlantic 10 as Gates, and that shot altered by Jeff Robinson. Xavier ball. Freeze was down court. Holloway turned it over though. And a foul by McLean, bumping Kilpatrick. That's the third on McLean. 6th Xavier fouls a team.
Xavier really needed a patient offensive possession and a basket right there. Instead of cutting it, that pass or that loose ball is going to result in a much more effective lead for the Bearcats.
We mentioned that Xavier's start identical to last year, but it seemed like they were a better team a year ago. You had Jordan Crawford, who was an NBA player. You had Brad Redford, who was one of the top 3-point shooters in the Atlantic 10, but he's out for the season with a knee injury this year. Also Jason Love, who was big in the double overtime game that Xavier won last year against Cincinnati. There's Redford, who again will not be available because of a knee injury suffered in October, out for the year. Also Justin Martin, a freshman they were going to be counting on this year, academically ineligible, as basket by Lyons cuts the lead to 13.
Gates is getting a little bit lazy out there now. He didn't even move to help against Lions' drive, and resulted into a bucket that Xavier shouldn't have gotten. He's counting the win a little bit, about 6 minutes too soon.
Wilkes can't bank it in, but Dixon right there to stuff it through.
Dixon does a lot of things. We've seen him do a lot of good things here tonight, Dave.
He's got 10 points this half and also 6 rebounds on the night. Nice move by Lyons along the baseline.
Now again, Gates was lazy there. The drive starts in the corner. Gates never moved to take away the baseline. And for the Redskins in beating Xavier in that ball game. That's way back in 1958.
Wow. A couple of years later, he won a national title as a player at Ohio State. Cincinnati in 1961 and 62 won titles. So this year celebrating their 50th anniversary of that 61 championship.
Nobody's ever forgotten that when I've been to Cincinnati.
I'll bet. Dixon in the lane, had it stripped by Freeze. Shot clock at 2. Gates got it poked free. And a shot clock violation. Jim Burr says no possession by Xavier. So
still Xavier.
By just 3.3 miles. Here's some samples of short distances between two schools. Penn and Drexel just a couple blocks. Georgetown and George Washington separated by 2 miles. Duke, North Carolina, of course, that's the biggest rivalry on the board here. It's 11.4 miles. So from the Cintas Center to Fifth Third Arena, it takes about 8 minutes if you're Aaron Stoikov, our producer, and he does drive this fast, by the way.
Well, I think you came back very well, David, from the nonsensical conversation I was having with our general manager and president, Aaron Stoikov. I mean, I wasn't sure what that conversation accomplished for either one of us, but you overrode nonsense very well.
Good to see, though, him obeying the laws there. He did stop at the stoplight there. It took the bus driver 15 minutes. It took our producer 8 minutes. What does that tell you? The bus driver taking Xavier from Cintas Center.
Good defense.
Third Arena.
Good defensive possession. When you get up by 13 with 7 or 8 to go, as a coach, I always said, don't let it get under double digits. Keep it above double digits. Don't let them get down to a situation where they think 1 or 2 more buckets they're going to have a chance to win.
Lions just picked up the foul, his third. 17 foul on Xavier, so this will be a 1-and-1 for Kashmir Wright.
Each time that Cincinnati comes away with a defensive rebound or a defensive possession where Xavier doesn't score, puts them that much closer to this game being locked away. And that's what they have right now with these 2 free throws.
Wright is now 5 of 5 at the foul line tonight. He has made 28 of his last 30 at the stripe.
I'd be willing to risk a bet with you that he makes it 29 out of 32 here.
He's stroking it, so we'll see.
They've had trouble with Holloway again. The officials have told him to shut up and play, I think, as simply as possible.
Well, Coach, before the first attempt by Wright, Holloway went over and said something to Wright. Ed Corbett stepped in and told him to back away. Holloway got a technical earlier in the half as it barely drops for Wright, able to spin it home, and the lead is 15 again.
Now let's see if Holloway lets something be created here or stays on the dribble the whole possession. Well, he got rid of it. That was good.
He's just 2 of 11 shooting, came in leading the team in scoring at 21 points per game. Held to just 4, though, tonight. Freeze on the low block. Missed the chippy and rebound by Kashmir Wright.
The key there was forcing Freeze back to the baseline. Help came across and made it impossible for him to go to the middle with the little jump hook. And it's a little more difficult when you have to take it from the baseline.
Freeze may have altered that shot by Wright. Gates is there with his 11th rebound and now 22 points to go along with it for the Cincinnati native.
you've got these two kids in there, Dave. When you've got Thomas and Gates in there, you were talking about going into the Big East. They're going to be a handful for any Big East team, those two big guys inside. Gates does a very good job here making Freeze come back to the baseline. He wants to go to the middle, and help comes back in there also. We get a little help from right back there, and he forces it into the more difficult of the two shots. He gets down the floor, takes a rebound away from somebody, and scores. Gates has been a real workhorse here tonight.
After this game, they go to Villanova. They also have to play at Georgetown, at Syracuse, at Notre Dame. They've got a tough schedule, as just about everybody does in the Big East. They do have Rutgers, USF here at home, though.
Yeah, but you know, the one thing that I always tried to do, and I think is really important in basketball, is say, like if you're playing for me and you're one of my leaders, I say, Dave, remind everybody that the bucket's 10 feet high. We don't have a lot of friends in the stands, but the bucket is the same height. So let's don't put too much pressure on ourselves because we're playing away from home. Doing a good job against Freeze down low. Gates is tough for him to move against that big body. They're both big-bodied guys.
Holloway now 2 of 12 from the field. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Larry Davis. Cincinnati 5 minutes away from going to 15-0, matching its best start since 1998-99.
Now, Cincinnati just needs to have a 20-second movement pattern. If somebody gets away for a layup, fine. But now you still have 15 seconds to go get a bucket. And the more they do that, the closer they're going to get to their ultimate objective.
Nick Cronin calls a timeout. Coach, let's talk about Xavier. Here's a team that plays in the Atlantic 10. So chances are if you win the regular season title in the Atlantic 10, even if you don't win the conference tournament, you're going to go to the big dance, especially with them adding a few teams this year.
You know, I almost think, Dave, that it should be absolutely stipulated that those conferences that have a league that is representative of what you want in Division I basketball, that the conference winner automatically goes. I think it's a mistake, and always have, that the winner of the tournament is the conference representative. The winner of the tournament can also go automatically, but if the conference champion, that idea of the conference tournament winner going has reduced what I always felt was one of the great things in college basketball, and that was being able to win a conference championship over the regular season.
And obviously hurts teams that are in one-bid leagues as Thomas throws it down off the miss by Dixon, and Cincinnati has its largest lead of the game.
This is kind of what we talked about this morning, Dave, when we were in watching both teams, that if Cincinnati went inside well like they're capable of doing and did a good job defensively, they'd be very tough for Xavier to beat.
There's Holloway's a rough go of it. He got bumped on the way to the basket. He'll go to the line for 1 and 1.
Now that really was a good move made by Holloway, because if he doesn't draw the foul, he's going to get a good shot at the bucket on the drive. And that was not what I call a dribble into a shot situation. That was just a drive. And there's a lot of difference between a dribble move and a drive move. A drive move gets you somewhere.
Holloway, 21 points per game. Guy that shoots an average of 9 free throws per contest, but that was his first free throw attempt of the night. And he missed the front end of a 1 and 1.
This patience is going to be good. They're going to wear a half a minute off with every possession. And he'll look to go. They kept him from going to the middle. Now he can come back. He's being very, very patient with the ball, Gates. Got it slapped away with good help.
Lions, good feet ahead to Holloway. Can't hit the layup, but he'll go to the line. Coach, you also see a lot of nonverbal communication by these Cincinnati players. They seem to have really good on-floor chemistry.
You know, I think they have an understanding of what each other can do. It seems to me that they know that if we get the ball to Gates or we get the ball to Thomas inside, we've got a chance to score. If a guy like Wright gets open or Dixon gets open, they can knock the ball down. And I think they're playing very much within themselves. They have not taken, in my mind, a singular bad outside shot during the course of this ball game. They've had patience, and what outside shooting they've done has been very complimentary to their inside game.
And their defense impressive again tonight. They came in giving up just 54 points per game. They've allowed only 42.
Well, and they've not turned the ball over very much either. Now, Xavier's going to get aggressive here and start to double up a little bit when they have a chance. But there again, they've run off 25 seconds. They still had 10 seconds to score.
Gates in the lane over McLean. Dixon there, beat the shot clock and got the hoop.
Now, how about that for a kid that's basically a perimeter player? That's the second rebound basket he's had in the second half.
He's got 8 boards and 12 second-half points. Gates clears off the Holloway miss.
I was just going to say I missed the shot, but I would bet Holloway took it.
He is really struggling. 2 of 13 from the field for Xavier as Wright gets fouled on the way to the basket. Cincinnati is blown this thing open. They got a 20-point lead and they're on their 20 at the here. It's been one-sided with Xavier winning 3 straight. It's never won 4 in a row, and doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight with Cincinnati up 20 at the 3-minute mark. Kashmir Wright looking to add to it.
You know, Wright and Davis have been very, very good in this game. They've contributed, each kid has contributed at both ends of the floor and has really done virtually nothing to detract from the positive aspects of play.
Cincinnati 64 points, but 6 different players with an assist, including those guys you mentioned. Meanwhile, Xavier only has 4 assists as a team. A foul before the shot on Cincinnati. They're in the double bonus, so it'll be 2 shots here for Xavier. Largest margin of victory was back in 1961, the year Cincinnati won a national title. Beat Xavier by 36. Also beat him by 30 in 1965. Scored 102 points in 65. One more free throw for Dante Jackson. Jordan Latham, a freshman from Baltimore, will come into the game. Xavier right now is just 9 healthy scholarship players as they get ready for Atlantic 10 play. They have to go to Rhode Island on Sunday to start their league schedule. Sean Kilpatrick returns, replacing Ibrahima Thomas for Cincinnati.
Now this is a real good opportunity for Cincinnati to work against pressure and double up because they're going to get it. And I think that we'll see Wright and Davis or whoever is out there with the ball right now do a good job with it. I think they'll be virtually turnover free here in the last couple minutes. Get to the free throw line. The key here is to get everybody moving and nobody standing watching. And the more people that move, the better opportunity you're going to have to get a score. That was kind of a funny shot taken there for where they are in the game and what they're trying to do.
They took it with about 10 on the timer. Jackson's 3 off the mark. Kilpatrick with a rebound and then last touch by McLean. So Cincinnati ball. So Cincinnati will stay unbeaten. Duke, Ohio State, Kansas, Syracuse, Cincinnati, San Diego State, and Central Florida, the undefeated teams remaining in college basketball. Contact in backcourt, no foul called as Jackson collided with Kashmir Wright.
This is really good experience for a team to hold the ball, not lose it, keep it through the whole possession.
Free pass with 4 to shoot. Gates, no. Tip won't go. Gates flies in there to get the rebound. A shot clock violation. Ball never hit the rim. Larry Davis returns for Cincinnati for the final 96 seconds, replacing Kashmir Wright. 10 points, 4 assists for Wright. That's right at his season average.
Wright and Davis played a lot of basketball in this game.
Davis with 8 points, couple of assists, couple of rebounds off the bench for Cincinnati. Another Xavier turnover. That's number 15. After tonight, Cincinnati goes to Villanova on Sunday, comes back here to host South Florida, then 3 straight road games at Syracuse, at Notre Dame, at St. John's, which, by the way, is off to a 3-0 start in Big East play. Best conference start in a decade. Under a minute to go. Cincinnati going to go to 15-0. Shot clock at 1. Dixon gets it off and banks it in. 14 in the second half for Deion Dixon as Lyons gets the bucket on the other end for Xavier. Yancey Gates, Cincinnati native, leaves with 22 points, 14 rebounds, and will beat Xavier for the first time in his career. He was recruited by both schools, but turned down the Musketeers to play at UC. Crowd chanting Yancey here. Gates with a great night. Season high both points and rebounds. And his 14 boards ties a career high. Dixon to the basket. Can't flip it in. Rebound by Xavier, but then ball went out of bounds. So it'll be Cincinnati basketball. Bearcats over to 15-0 as you see what Gates did. Very consistent.
A really good win. Not just a good win, but a very well played game from Cincinnati's standpoint. They used all their tools on the offensive end. Gave up 46 points, which is pretty daggone good from a defensive standpoint.
And the Bearcats stay unbeaten, matching their best start since 1998-99. Best start in school history was 19-0 back in 1963. Final score tonight, they beat their crosstown rivals Xavier by 20 and end a 3-game losing streak to the Musketeers. Coming up next on ESPN2, it's Northwestern and Illinois. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Coach Knight and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Pasch saying so long from Cincinnati, where the Bearcats stay unbeaten and win by 20. Out of the studio, I'm Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Dave. Coach Knight, thank you very much. And, of course, John Scherna, he's getting set. You see